Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight, we have a very special guest. So we have Marie from Bando Bandits, and she has a very unique and really cool channel, which the description is in the drop down bar below. It started in January 2021, and her channel has hundreds of videos. Features, can't even talk right now, exploring abandoned hospitals, asylums, cemeteries, schools, hotels, just to name a few things. And there is a bit of a paranormal aspect to it as well, which we will certainly talk about. And one of Marie's coolest features, if I dare say, is she's friends with Auntie Mimi. So of course she's amazing. So without further ado, let's bring her on. Hey, Marie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I'm very excited we were able to connect and talk about your channel and a bit about what you do for your content. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Lots of stuff to talk about. But before we do, it would be a disservice if I did not mention the person who is here and happily typing in the text. Hey, Auntie Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
And hello to Rich Discoveries. Hello. I know who you are through watching Marie's videos. So shout out to Rich Discoveries as well. So Marie, do you just want to quickly say who Rich Discoveries is for anybody who wants to also check out his content?
That is my boyfriend. And yes, definitely go follow his channel because he makes amazing videos.
Awesome. I will say I have checked out Rich's videos. And it's interesting because you guys will be at the same place, but have different, obviously kind of different filming angles.
Yeah.
So with you, it's like we hear your voice and see what you're looking at kind of firsthand perspective. But with his, like I get to see you walking in the same, it's just very cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I like when we compare our footage too, because like you said, different angles with different scenes.
So, all right. So you started your channel in 2021. And recently, you just hit 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So your channel, how did you get the idea to start this channel and do this type of content? So basically, how did you become a YouTuber? What is the story?
Well, I was an explorer first for many, many years, and I used to not even like be into the photography. So it went from exploring to photography. And then I was like, why don't I just start videotaping it so I can, actually remember it more. And a lot of like funny things happen on explorers that, you might forget if you don't have footage of it sometimes. And I like to look back on it and kind of relive the explorer. So that's the reason why I started it. And then it just kind of turned into me liking it more because I like filming.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the photography aspect that you mentioned, at the end of all of your videos, you have a series, like several minutes dedicated to just the photos that you take, which is very unique and very different. How are you able to narrow it down? Because there's what is your process in that? Because the pictures you post are really unique and really cool.
Thank you. My process is very disorganized. I'll start going through I'll go through a chunk of them, and then I'll get sick of looking at those photos. So I'll go to a different explorer, and then I lose my place and I have to go, look back and figure out where I left off. But usually, I'll do one round of going through them and kind of pick, did I do straight angles, capture it the way I want, make sure everything's in focus. And then I'll kind of do a second round of picking the ones I like, because I don't want to post 1,000 pictures, even though I take 1,000 pictures sometimes. But yeah, that's basically it. And then I just post my favorite ones. So
nice. And I've noticed with your content, especially going back, because yes, I did deep dive and totally binge a lot of your content because I found you late in the game.
That's awesome.
There are places that you visit more than once.
Yeah.
And you'll have that comparison to I'll hear you say it in the video. You're like, oh, this wasn't like this when we were here. And How do you remember? And you're specific about those details. How do you remember that?
I have no idea. I just certain places I love more than others. I don't know how else to explain it. So I'll literally just like want to remember every detail. I guess that's why. And when I'm exploring, I'm kind of just like a sponge. Like I'll just look around and absorb everything, and I'll just like remember where something is down like a random hallway that like everybody's like, how do you know that? um, but yeah, I just feel more connected to some than others, and I pay more attention to things in certain ones. And a lot of the time, there's just a lot of destruction that happens, and I'll notice like something's out of place or something doesn't look right or how it usually does.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you watched like your video, like the first one you did right before you went back, but the fact that you remember that's insane.
Thank you.
So to take a step back from your content, so briefly just kind of describe who you are, where you're from. You're from New England. Just a little bit about you.
I am from Connecticut, and I just finished mortuary school, so I am working towards being an embalmer and funeral director. And I also do I make music, and I make other people's music, like I engineer it. Something I do on the side. And I really do. I have a lot of hobbies. I like to jump from hobby to hobby.
So I know my viewers would be very unhappy with me if I did not follow up. So what is the process for becoming a mortuary in mortuary school? What is that like?
Oh man, school is intense. Basically, you have to finish the school, and then when you're done with that, you have to pass the national board exams for arts and science. And then you have to apprentice for a year, which when we were in school, we did like a pre-graduate program. And then I did 3 months of my apprenticeship already, but I have to do the last 9 months after I pass the boards. And then I'll be licensed, and then I can start, doing it on my own. But it's a very long process.
Wow.
Yeah.
How competitive is that field? If you even know that answer, because I'm not familiar with
Um,
that field at all.
it it's kind of competitive. I think it's becoming more popular now than it was before, because I know before they used to say they needed help, but it seemed like, we had a pretty big class. We started with a bigger number than what we ended with, but it was still a pretty big class, so more people are taking interest in it, which is good because, you know, they needed help, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, that's amazing that you're getting near the tail end of that. And
Thank
oh,
you. Yeah, I'm happy about that because it's been a long, rough year with that. Well, it's like 2 years, but I was in school before that because I got my business degree.
mhm.
So it's been really 4 years. So I'm kind of just done with school. I'm ready to move on.
We all reached that point, that's for
Yeah.
sure. That's so cool. So Rich made a comment. This chair was in the other room 3 years ago, and she's right. Yeah, he knows. He
That's fun.
knows.
Yeah, I'll remember where it was. I'm like, this isn't who moved it. I gotta go find it.
So one of the things that I think I've seen in some of your videos, so in regards to a ghost spirit box, you've used those in some of your videos, correct?
Yeah.
I know Auntie Mimi has been in the chat before and kind of talked a little bit about what those are. But for those who are listening who maybe did not see that, what is a kind of a spirit box, and what is someone able to obtain in a setting by using one?
It is a way to kind of like channel different frequencies to catch things that spirits can say like through the device, so it's a way for them to talk to you. um Sometimes you could hear it super clear, and other times there's like a lot of white noise in there and static, but for the most part it's a really cool way to interact with them like in live time, instead of using an EVP recorder where like you have to go through it later. Like if you're asking them a question, you actually get the answer right then and there instead of going through it later and not being able to capitalize on what they said and like ask them another question. That makes sense.
Do you bring that on most of the locations that you go to, or only select ones?
Usually only select ones, because I don't like to carry it in my bag all the time. But if I know that we're gonna do that, then I will. This is Chester, by the way.
Okay. Let's take.
Oh, Chester, you're so cute. You say hi to the camera. You done?
So, all right, we're good. We have to quick pause because we are a very pet friendly channel. Yeah, see, little Milky's like, kitty. So, how many pets or cats do you have?
I have 2 over here, and then at my family's house, I have 4 more cats that are like our family cats. So, love kitties.
Gee, I know somebody else that has 6 cats. Oh wait, that's me.
You can't just have one, and then by the time you have like 3 or 4, you're like, what's 2 more? Whatever. I already have this many. So.
Foster failing is very real. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Tony just came in the chat, and Tony is from Brazil, a big fan of the show. And yes, he always makes the point to come in and say hi to my cat. So Tony, I'm so glad you came in. You got to see Marie's cat, and I'm sure the other cat will make an appearance in the background. I got to see the other cat before we went live.
Yes, he made a pre-appearance. Well, he's over here staring at me.
Look at that. The viewers numbers went up. Of course, it's like, oh, pets, I'm in. Oh, man. So in regards to the areas that you go to for your videos, how do you, I guess, kind of what areas do you typically go to? Is there certain, do you only stick to Connecticut, or do you go through New England or even farther out? Or what areas do you go to when finding places to explore?
I definitely go all over. We tend to stick to like the surrounding states of Connecticut if we're going for like a day trip, but usually like a few times a year we'll plan a trip further out. So I've been all around here, like Mass, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York. I love exploring in New York, and Pennsylvania. I love exploring there too. Been to Ohio. Then I've been to like southern states too, Florida, South Carolina. And I'm pretty much down to go anywhere that I can bring my weed, to be honest.
Fair.
That's basically it.
Fair. And you've gone to those other states, like for example, Florida. Did you go specifically for that reason?
No. I was there for another reason, but I happened to be exploring down there when I went. I saw like a old stadium type thing out there, so that was cool. I like to like travel to see different places too, even if it's not abandoned, if it's just something cool that I want to see, like a city or.
Nice. So I have a bunch of questions. Danny, is this live? Yes, this is live. So if you have questions for Marie as well as we're going through, by all means, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll go from there. So if you're in regards to the areas that you've said that you go to, how do you find the places that you're able to find? Because a lot of the places that you've mentioned, I'm like, how did she even find these places? How did she even know they existed?
Usually research, because I'll just look up different things all the time. Sometimes I'll see it online, or it'll like pop up in certain places, like you'll see posts of different places, and I'll kind of just pick up clues from different people's posts and figure out where it is. So I'm usually pretty good at it. Sometimes I like finding it and then I just forget to even go because I have like a lot of pins. I just like to find it a lot because it's fun.
Very interesting. So once you do decide on a place to go and you have visited, what to you, and there might be more than one answer to this, is the most intriguing part of the type of building or maybe outside location? For example, I know you went to a cemetery recently. That was in one of your videos, but what is the most intriguing part to you when you do go? Is it the architecture? Is it what's left behind? Or what captures you the most when you're there?
Both of those things. First, it's the architecture, because that's like what I first see. So I love like the old brick buildings and like pretty windows and see the nature growing over it. Then inside, it is really fascinating to see what's left behind because it's usually a bunch of random stuff or sometimes I'm good at I don't know how, but I'm just good at like finding things in there. So places people like wouldn't usually look like in corners and stuff, I'll end up finding like old pictures and stuff. It's happened before. Um, and a bunch of cool stuff.
Oh.
It's just weird how much people leave sometimes too. Like in houses, people will like leave all of their stuff, and it's just really strange.
Mhm. Yeah, one of the videos you uploaded recently was it was like an old mansion that was abandoned, and there was still there was still family photos, and
Yeah,
that was wild. That like
yeah,
those personal things were left behind. Yeah, that was very interesting.
yeah. The pictures always like get me because I don't know. I would never leave my pictures behind, so it's just strange how some people aren't attached to those kind of things, but other people are. I
Hmm.
don't know. And then also it makes you wonder, like, what if they didn't, and what if like what happened to this person? So then
Hmm.
usually I'll try to figure it out because depending on how much I like the place, I'll try to find stuff like that out and like research it.
Yeah. So Mimi has a question, and that was actually one I had Mimi for later, but I'll give you the credit. Do you ever get caught sneaking in?
Yeah, a couple times, but luckily nothing, too bad has happened yet, knock on wood. But um yeah,
Fair.
I'm pretty good at not getting caught, so I usually hide, but
Yeah.
um there's been a couple times, yeah, where I've been caught like on the property, but nothing like too bad. So
Hmm. Rich is adding to that. It's intriguing how people could walk away from life and why and what happens.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's a whole psychology conversation I would love to dive into, but
Right.
so some of the places that you have gone to, I've noticed, and there was a few of them where you actually spent the overnight there.
Yeah.
Was that again a situation where you had to sneak in to stay overnight, or do
Yeah.
you ever get permission to do that?
No.
No?
I just do what I want.
Oh god. So describe for us, so it's one thing to go in the day and see these things, but you're seeing them at night, and that adds a whole nother level. When you stay at night, what is your goal to get out of that experience?
Relax in the nice peace and quiet. It just it's hard to explain, but it's really a very peaceful setting, just kind of being like in a desolate area. And I think it's pretty. A lot of the time you'll hear birds or like see fireflies or, stuff at night that you usually wouldn't see during the day or like sounds,
Mhm.
bats. I like bats.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
the last time we camped, there's really cool lighting in there,
Mhm.
and it just I don't even know how to explain it, but it you could see all the branches, and it's kind of like silhouettes of the branches like all throughout the building, and it looked really cool.
Mhm.
So it took some cool pictures with that.
That's awesome. Auntie Mimi adds, that's when the ghost equipment comes out?
Yeah, a lot of the time, definitely. I always usually bring that with me when we camp because why not?
Mhm. Absolutely. So, in regards to some of the places that you have visited, are you able to name some of them? Or, like, for example, like some that are like stand out the most to you? Any places that you visited that maybe names people would recognize? Or maybe some that are your favorites that you like to kind of check out more. Or maybe you don't want to name them either. That's fair as well.
yeah, yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say I don't usually like to name them like just to
Fair.
protect the location. But in general, my favorite places are usually asylums, because I love asylums, and especially asylums with like weird or dark history to it. That anything involved. And I research that a lot, so I'm very passionate about that topic.
Yeah, that I will say those are my favorite videos of the ones that you do. Just the
Thank you.
psychology person in me, like, because there's a whole bunch of history at asylums, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, there
Yeah,
is. And I feel
yeah,
like when we walk around, we get to see like parts or like see or read like parts of the history that we usually like don't get to read about or see, because on online they only tell you like so much stuff, but when you get to see it for yourself and read it and see all these things and see how things were set up, it kind of like puts it all into perspective for you that it like actually happened, you know.
yeah. So, in regards to when you are at these asylums, and because you have posted somewhere, there are records left behind. Like, have you, like, I guess, what is your response to that? Have you ever found a record and been like, I want to research this a little bit more? Or
Oh yeah.
I would do the same.
Yeah, I love records. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Everybody who explores with me knows how much I love records. So
Mhm.
they'll just leave me there for like they'll just go explore and leave me there and I'll still be there like a couple hours later going through the records. So
Oh, I would be right there with you. Like, that would be
oh
the place
yeah,
it
I
would
just
be.
sit right on the floor and it's like a book. I don't know, it's so cool to
Mhm.
see like what they did in their everyday.
In some of the asylums you've gone to as well, I've noticed like some of the medical equipment is still left behind.
Yeah, I love when the medical equipment's left behind because any asylum is cool, but when there's stuff still in there, it just makes it so much better and it better pictures too.
Yeah. So James Watson makes a comment, and yeah, I'd be scared of running into a homeless person living there. Have you ever ran into anybody when you've gone to these places, whether it's homeless or maybe somebody else kind of doing similar to what you're doing, checking it out?
Yeah. I always make a joke about like when I first started exploring, it was just me and my brother, and I swear we never saw anybody else until I like joined all the like urbex community groups, and then I swear I just started seeing like mad people, and I was like when we went I never saw anybody back in the day, but yeah, we do see other explorers all the time and homeless people too. Some are nice, some aren't, so
Mm,
I've had experiences of both.
yeah. So have you heard of, and the reason I ask, because it's where I am, like more so North Shore area. Have you heard of Danvers State Hospital? And if so, have you been there?
I actually haven't, and I don't know why. It's on my list to go this year.
Oh, you
um I think because at first I thought there wasn't much left there, but I definitely do want to at least see it at some point. There's
yeah.
certain ones that I'm like, why haven't I been there yet? They're on my list. I'm like, yeah, I'll go, and then I find a new place and I want to go there instead. So
I know it was like when I was growing up, it was like a rite of passage in high school where like everybody snuck into Danvers State
yeah,
Hospital. And of course, me and my friend group did that. I was the only one that went in the building. They all chickened out.
that's funny.
But and then we almost got busted by the cops, and that was a whole ordeal. But
Yeah,
now they give tours, which is like it takes away from it. But
yeah, I do like tours too, though. Sometimes, not all the time, but some of the ones you go on, it's good to relax, and some of the photography tours are nice, and you'll just be able to get, nobody's in your shot and smaller groups. It's nice sometimes.
so you mentioned that you have gone in, like explore these places sometimes with your brother. I know you go with Rich Discoveries as
Yeah.
well. Are there other people that you do these kind of go on these I don't know if explorations is the right word. Or do you kind of just stick to just a few people that you go with?
I usually have just a few people that I explore with. We do go, with other people sometimes, but usually I explore with Rich and my friend Turtle and Annette and Chris and Sandra, and that's basically it. And my brothers and stuff. But yeah, occasionally I'll go with like other friends that have like my girlfriends that I go with sometimes. But
Mhm. What would you say to somebody who hasn't gone before to do this type of thing? Is because I notice you are dressed a certain way in your videos, with which makes sense because as you're walking, we can hear like the broken glass underneath your feet and
Yeah.
some of the structures you're walking on. I'm like, oh my God, Marie, like I feel like it's gonna cave.
Oh yeah, I've fallen through the floor before, but yeah, wear boots because you could step on a nail. I learned that wearing sneakers before, so you just kind of learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Wear dark clothing or black because you could blend in more, and always bring a light because if you don't have a light, you're kind of screwed.
Very good advice. Very good advice. So, one of the places that I really wanted to talk about where you went, because one, I'm repping the shirt. Shout out to Auntie Mimi and the SK Pierce Haunted Mansion. But you were able to go to the mansion as well, and you were able to meet Mimi and my Uncle Ken. And you do have a long video on your channel, which I loved watching that because it's just very personal to me because of my aunt and uncle. But
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the SK Pierce Haunted Mansion because you've been more than once. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
love
what
that
did you do
place.
there? What was that like for you? As much as you want to say.
I love the SK. It is such a beautiful, beautiful place. So the first time we went in a really big group. That's where I met Mimi and Ken and Marion. And honestly, I was so distracted with how pretty the house was. I pretty much took pictures like most of the time that we were supposed to investigate, and I did some investigating. And then the second time that I went, I literally walked in and I went to use the bathroom and I went to reach for the knob and the knob turned by itself, and I was like, okay, so this is how the night's gonna go. Um, all night it went on. There was just crazy activity. We were having so much fun. And then I got bit on my leg and I woke up with like a lip-shaped bruise on my leg. It was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you like I'm not the go like the spirit like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a paranormal like expert. I know nothing about that world. I know that's very much, Auntie Mimi and Uncle Ken's thing. And I know because Mimi's come on before and talked about like the different spirits that reside within the SK
Hmm.
Pierce mansion. Were you able to have an idea of who it was that bit you or?
You couldn't pinpoint it, but
Hmm.
it was a male, definitely. Because it kept talking. It kept saying left leg, actually, like right before it did it. And I was thinking about it. I was like, if it was facing me, it would have been my left leg, like to whatever bit me. So yeah.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
felt it happen because I remember in the video, I was like, "Did you just touch my knee?" And then, because I felt it on my knee. And then the next morning is when I found the bruise because I had pants on. And then I saw it after.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. So James is saying, did you sneak into the mansion? Did Mimi chase you? She did not sneak in. They do tours there. So,
Yes. That's funny.
oh goodness. Um, so were you able to use the spirit box there at the mansion?
I think we were using the Necrometer app because it pulls the words up for you on there. So
Okay.
I like that one just because sometimes I can't make out what they say on the spirit box. I honestly think that my spirit box wasn't working the second time that I went, but the first time I did use it and I was near that little clown doll and it was like yelling at me. So
Yep. Yep. So Mimi's adding, years ago, we found one of the underground tunnels at Danvers State. The water was dripping and it was really spooky.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, you're going back to the mansion, yeah. So Little Milky is saying about that bite you got. That's some kinky shit.
Yep.
That's one interpretation. Do you have a scar from that?
No, sadly, that
Oh,
would have been cool.
oh man. So what were the other things that you were able to that stood out to you from the mansion besides that? Just because I haven't been to many of the places that you've been to in your videos, but I've been to the SK Pierce mansion and I didn't have the same experience you did. So what else from there stood out to you when you were there on your overnight?
Um, I felt like they were I don't know the word I'm trying to look for. Like they had a way stronger presence that night than the other night. It was like a clear difference, and I thought it was cool because we got to experience it. But I was like, wow, like what a difference. Because I remember the first time saying like, I felt like they were kind of hiding because we had a bigger group, and then the four of us literally just went on all night. And one of my friends, she like wasn't feeling good because she's really sensitive too, and it had said something about poison or like poisonous on the response, and she had like right after that said like she was having stomach pains and stuff and like feeling dizzy, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. you know
Oh,
they're
wow.
definitely more personal that night.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh gosh, that is so creepy.
It was
Or
creepy.
kinky, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, that was a fun night though. I had like I call it the paranormal zoomies. Like after you have a good investigation, you like stay up all night. I don't know how to explain it because you're like so excited that you're like, oh, this is so cool. I can't sleep.
I'm sure Mimi in rich discoveries are probably like, yep, I know that feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
So some of the other going back to some of the other places that you visited, because again, you have a whole array of different type of locations you go to through, and you have so many, like so much content going back years. What things have you experienced that have really stood out to you the most, more than any of the other places that you visited?
I'd have to say, like in general, it's like seeing how these places like get ruined so quickly, even if it's by like vandals or just by like weather too. Like it's crazy how much of a difference it makes. Even just like the place that I went to recently is my favorite place, and I just went probably like a few months before the last time I went, which was recently, and it's just all fallen apart. So I don't know
Mm,
how stuff like that happens so fast. It's
yeah.
really sad to see.
Yeah. I know when I am watching your videos, it's disappointing when you see, like you said, like the vandalism that occurs, because like it's like some of the places that have been abandoned are like they're literally just a piece of history,
Yeah,
and just to have something disturbed by just something so stupid like that.
yeah. It really is crazy how I've never been to a place and been like, oh, I want to destroy it. I don't get what people get out of that, but
Yeah.
definitely annoying, especially because I like to, clean the places up, and then you go and set something up and somebody comes and destroys it. But it
Mhm.
is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I do notice that in your videos you'll do like little cleanups
Oh yeah.
for the places that you've been to, and yeah, which is really nice and touching to kind of see, because you can tell that your content, you're not just there like you're to just kind of see it and leave. It's very clear that you're there to experience it, but to preserve it in the way that it was left, in the way it was
Yeah,
meant to be, and not,
definitely.
yeah, you're not there like destroying the place and filming it. Like, no, that's not your vibe, not at all.
No, definitely not.
So, in regards to, and I should have asked this earlier, so my apologies on that.
No, it's
In
okay.
regards to the name Bando Bandits, so how did you come up with that name, and what does that mean?
Um, I really just came up with it randomly one day because I was thinking that we're kind of like little raccoons that like sneak into the buildings. So that's just kind of where it came from, and then the raccoon is kind of like my little, not like, I guess it's an icon, yeah, for it. But that's really where the concept came from, because I was like, we're kind of just sneaking around, like a little raccoon would, in there, in and out and undetected.
Very cool, very cool. Little Milky adds, once the roof starts leaking, it's over.
Yeah, exactly. It ruins the floor, it ruins everything. So it's crazy how fast it happens. So
Have you been to, you mentioned that you've fallen through a floor.
yeah.
Is that a common thing?
I've fallen through a couple times, but that time I like really fell through it and it was not fun. I hurt my hip pretty bad. I've actually fallen under a building before too. It was like a like a fort. I don't even know. I'm really clumsy, so it actually wasn't my fault. I was holding on to a railing and like I stepped and my feet just my legs went under the building and I was like holding on to the bar, luckily.
Oh
I was
my
hanging
gosh,
there.
girl.
Yeah, I always am hitting my head or falling usually.
Oh my goodness. James asks, I know you mentioned it a bit earlier. Where do they explore East Coast?
Yeah, usually East Coast, like surrounding states, so New York, Mass, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and did I say Pennsylvania?
You
Pennsylvania.
did.
Okay. I can't think of the other one that I'm thinking of, but
No, that's all right.
basically just around here. But usually stick to like 2 or 3 hours out, and then anything over that, we'll try to stay overnight and like kind of do more.
In regards to just kind of going off of that, James, thank you for mentioning that again. Some of the other outside states, and I know I'd asked if you went to those locations for that specific reason. I know in the case of Florida, you hadn't. What was the furthest state that you went to that you researched and was like, we're going, like this is the trip for this reason?
Probably Ohio.
Okay.
But I went there for like it was like a tattoo and metal festival. So so I went there and I had like a bunch of spots already planned for out there cuz even if it's far, I'll still save it if I find something cuz you never know if you're going to go. Like I never thought I would go to Ohio, but I went. So I had a bunch of stuff to go see out there. And I have a bunch of trips that I want to do, but I'm kind of restricted because I have like physical problems and I have to bring my medical marijuana with me and they don't let you fly with it. So kind of restricted to driving certain places. So that was the
Yeah.
longest. Well, no, actually, that's not the longest trip because we drove to South Carolina for Myrtle Beach when I was younger and
Yeah.
like down there.
That's a hike, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was cool. That made me really like traveling because before when I was exploring, obviously when I was a teenager, it was mostly local stuff. And then when I got older, started going out, and I was like, this is really fun because there's a whole bunch of stuff to see. And that trip, I thought it was cool that we drove through all the states, and it made me like want to redo the trip and actually like explore in all the states when I stop, stop on the way down in each one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good places to stop along the way, especially if exploring is your thing, which
Yeah.
it is. So Rich is adding, you can read all you want, but these places are direct windows into yesterday. It's all the small modifications and jobs and life they made that you just can't find in books. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Exactly.
well said. Very well
Yeah.
said. James asks, and I'm going to tweak the question to add a little something. So James, okay, so James is in Canada, and James is here almost every show. He's a good Danny After Dark fan, but very scared of life, and he'd be worried about catching haunted virus. I don't even know what that is, James. But I'm going to add to it. So he asked if you ever run into giant rats or spiders. Have you run into any animals or critters while you're in these locations?
Oh man, my arch enemy is the cave cricket. It's this huge cricket that looks like a spider, and they just completely freak me out. So I'll head in the complete other direction if I see one of those. I see those a lot because of the tunnels and stuff. I have seen like dead animals before, but I really would love to see a raccoon when I was exploring, but I don't see them often. I have seen cats, which I always try to pet, but they always run away from me.
Oh.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just that's the one thing I can't stand is those nasty little cave crickets.
Gotcha. Okay, so James mentioned hantavirus is what you catch from rat droppings in old places. Okay,
Oh,
got
okay,
it.
like a virus. No, if it's like a place that's really gross like that, I'll wear a mask. I don't always wear a mask, but if I know that it's like that, or if it bothers my nose or anything, then I know it's probably that. So I'll put something on, or
Gotcha.
or the respirator.
Gotcha.
But I usually only use the respirator when it's moldy.
Mm, yeah. Let's see. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So, in regards to your channel and content that you have, is there any upcoming content, maybe places that you've been to that you've filmed that you haven't posted yet, anywhere new? I know you don't name names, but for people that subscribe to your channel who have not, which everybody in here, please subscribe. Honestly, it's an
Thank
amazing,
you.
amazing channel. What can people look forward to for content that you're going to be putting out?
Now that it's warmer, I know we'll be camping a bunch of places this season coming up. So that'll be coming out. I do have some places because I don't post right away, so I do have a few places, ready to be posted soon. That are really cool. One of my favorite places. I really liked it, and there's like a little daycare center. Um, and it had all these like pictures on the wall still, which I love because you see in the paint, like how the paint's peeling, and then you can see the pictures either underneath or like what's left of it. I find that really cool when there's stuff on the walls still, like from the place, not graffiti
Mhm.
that people drew, like from the actual place itself. So
Nice. I think was that the video that you just
yeah, I
posted?
just put that one out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one came out, and then I did just put out a camping video recently too. And then I think I got more. I got one exploring with my little brother coming out soon too, because I took him to his first big place and he was loving it. So
Oh gosh. So how old is your little brother for context?
he is going to be 16 this year, so he's old enough. I've been bringing him since he was little, but to like safer places, obviously. But I made
Mhm.
him wear my respirator, and we passed it one day, and he's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I've been in there. You want to go?" And he's like, "Yeah." So that was a fun day. We had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's exciting. Will he kind of do you think he's headed to kind of go the YouTube route as well, or is he a little more?
He probably won't do YouTube.
Mm.
I like tease him all the time because he doesn't like the long drive. So I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just a Connecticut explorer, I see.
Mm.
So maybe when he's older, he might want to do other stuff. But I invite him when I go out of state all the time, and he's always like, "How far is it?" So, but yeah, he likes to take some pictures. Though he was taking pictures last time, so that was cool.
Gotcha. So let me just double check here. So, before I kind of, make sure that you can plug, where people can find you and your YouTube channel and whatnot, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I didn't cover from your channel, your content, or yourself that you want to let people know about, just so when they go to your channel and hit that subscribe button, they get a better sense of what to expect from you?
I think you pretty much covered everything. So.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I like when I try to prepare for, like, I go through everything and like, oh my God, if you saw my notes, you'd be like, girl, have you been like stalking? Like, how do you know
You're funny.
all this? Like,
No, it was really good because I was nervous because I haven't done anything like this before, and it was made me very comfortable. So thank you,
oh,
appreciate it.
girl, you are like a natural. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Oh
thank you. I
my
always feel like
gosh.
I'm awkward. I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't get awkward vibes. I get the like, I'm a badass and here's what I'm doing. And I am falling through floors and just to get the content because yeah, we're doing it. Like, no,
Thank you.
awkward. No, 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 no.
I appreciate that.
So and anybody that's friends with Auntie Mimi is super
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Super
because
cool.
she's the best. So.
She is the best. Shout out to Auntie Mimi. And look at Mimi. I think you're great.
Aw, thank you. I think you are too.
I was telling you before we went live that I know the reason you came on my radar is Auntie Mimi had posted something with her cats, and you have cats as well, and you commented, and I saw your profile picture, and I was just like, there was something about it. I'm like, who is this girl? Who is this girl? And I was like, Mimi, and she said, oh, she has a YouTube channel too, and that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And everybody knows here that, and I've said it before because I, again, give credit where credit is due. So I don't even think Auntie Mimi knows this. When I reached out to you, you can vouch for this, and I, introduced myself and who I was, that, I was Mimi's niece. And I was just like, let's put this out there. Like, Auntie Mimi is way cooler than I am. Like,
I remember
hands
that.
down, way cooler than me. So look at her. Oh, geez. God. Rich adds, such a shame how it all happened after such an amazing life. What did I miss? Okay, Rich, I don't know what that's in reference to. Such a shame how it all happened after such a great life.
Maybe he's talking about one of the buildings, probably.
Yeah. No idea. Okay. That's okay. So where I did the description, a link to your channel, so people who are watching this can just hit the drop down bar and find you there. Do you have any social media pages for your channel, or is it just strictly your YouTube?
Yeah, I do have an Instagram for it, but I honestly can't get back into it at the moment for that one. But I have my regular Instagram is just Mari Smokahanis, and I usually post my exploring pictures on there, and some videos too. But I'll do like my TikTok videos on there as well.
Oh, okay.
Also Bando Bandits on TikTok too.
Bando Bandits on TikTok. Got it. And I'm so mad at myself. I was just about to remove myself and make you big because your cat was walking across in the back, but I missed the opportunity.
Was it the black one or the?
No, I think it was the white and gray one from earlier.
I'm surprised the black one didn't make an appearance. He must be hiding.
I know. Oh, I loved tuxedos. Black and white cats are like my favorite, favorite. And yeah, I'm so lucky I got to at least see that cat before we went live. Okay, Rich, you were responding to a comment. Got it. So Rich, very nice thing. She's a badass in every aspect of life. Sets out, gets nervous, but overcomes every aspect of it.
Aw, thank you, babe.
That is so sweet. So Rich has a channel as well. So please subscribe to his as well.
Yes, please.
You get to see Marie from a different angle, same location, but different angle, different perspective.
Yes. He films a lot better than me too. So
No. It's different. It's very different.
No, I really do just like his filming. I think he does a really great job filming it. I've learned a lot from him too, because when I first started, I was not that great at filming, and he gave me a lot of pointers to help me out. So that's dope.
All right, James Watson, I thought he was here. Would you ever team up with Danny to do a video exploring somewhere, most likely an abandoned Starbucks? Yeah, I'm a bit of a When the Starbucks people know your name when you walk in, you're there too much.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's okay. Everybody loves coffee here.
No, Marie,
absolutely.
If you come to our area again, I would love if you would take me under your wing.
Yes, definitely.
If you would have me, I would love to follow.
Definitely. Let's plan something soon.
Lord knows that would. Oh gosh. I would. Yeah, I would probably be the type to just fall through the floor.
I won't let you. I got you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Marie's cats and my cats look like twins. They do, and Auntie Mimi, we were talking about that before we went live. Yeah,
they really do.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Marie, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And again, I wouldn't know that you don't typically do complete natural, honestly.
Oh, cool.
Just complete laid back natural, kick ass. woman. So
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me too. This was fun.
absolutely. So again, everybody check out and subscribe to Bando Bandits. The link to the YouTube channel is in the drop down bar below, and Rich Discoveries is in the chat. Please subscribe to him as well. So thank you again, Marie, for coming on. And thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on replay, leave them in the comments below. And yeah, we'll get back to you. All right, everybody, have a good night. And remember, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.